Single Mom with Curls here. I'm back with a video of my updated traveler's notebook setup. I figured out how I want to utilize my traveler's notebook for 2015, and I've already started the setup, so I thought I'd share with you. This is my Zanook leather Cahier size notebook. The leather is not squishy in the least, but I prefer a harder, more rigid book for this kind of size. I like the softer size, like in my field notes. It's much softer leather. I love this. It has a bit of a sheen. It came like that. I chose a red elastic, gives it just a little pop of color. This one doesn't have any internal pockets because I don't use them. I have 3 notebooks, all made by me, all containing some aspect of DIY fish. Around each notebook is some sort of folder system. So the first notebook has the 6 pockets. It's more like 12, right? Because there's 2 pockets in each area. So I use these now for either things I find pretty, like my son, or you know, just some of the accessories that I would use if I was on the go. So I have some washi tape. These are just a couple of tabs that were sitting in that plastic container that the Avery tabs come in, and there were literally like 6 left. I think there's like 2 on this one, and instead of keeping that, I just pulled them out and stuck it there. I have some stamps there, a car information. I also have that card in the car, but I've gone into places and needed the information, and so it's just easier to have it there. This came with my son's picture, and I thought it was cute and possibly useful at some point. Who knows? In the back, I have various flags in different shapes and hues. Some more flags, and these are the best tabs ever created. Okay, so I made a monthly booklet of DIY Fish 2.2 MTN inserts. I wanted to kind of copy the Midori booklet, but I didn't want to use the Midori booklet because I'm obsessed with DIY fish. I like the functionality of the inserts and the ability to house multiple areas of my life in one space, and so it was absolutely imperative that I utilize her inserts, but I needed to figure out a way to do it because I did not enjoy having a separate monthly booklet for forward planning and then having to recopy the information onto the booklets for DIY fish inserts. So I'm no longer using the classic version for that exact reason, because every month I had to recopy the months and I didn't enjoy that. So going forward, I will be doing a separate book for the year of the 2.2s, and then I will have 2 months worth of inserts of the weeklies, and I don't use dailies at this point. So this is what it looks like. This is a 2.2 version. I have the calendar where the first of the month starts on the right side versus the left side, and I prefer it that way because I kind of think that way versus this way, which doesn't really make sense, but makes sense in my brain. I use this space in here for bills and keeping track of online orders, and then I use this for to-dos in terms of my personal life, and I'll show you when we get to the booklet for December, because the December month's not in here. I also, in keeping with the Midori monthly booklet, I wanted to have a year calendar wrapped around my months. And so I used DIY Fish's year planner for the half size because I'm printing on letter paper. So I folded it 3 times because it's aesthetically pleasing to do so, to be quite honest. And then it fits in here without being too wide. So this is 2015. You get some note space there. We have some checklists there. And I'm thinking that I'm going to use that as my year goals. So what I want to get accomplished within 2015. I kind of write out here some reference calendars for 2016 and 2017. And then if you are a DIY Fish user, then you know that the next page here should have been the yearly calendar. But I printed it out differently. So for those who understand and would like to mimic, I just printed page 1 with page 4 on the back of it. And so then I printed page 2 and then with page 3 in the back, and I'll show you that in a minute. So here she's separated each month into a couple of different squares. And so I think for this square I'm going to put actual holidays, birthdays. And in this column, I'm going to list important events for work and for school for my son. And then here I will then take my yearly goals and break them down into monthly steps. So ways for me to accomplish said goals. And I washi this in because there was no way for me to print this so that it slid in to the notebook properly without messing up some aspect. And I racked my brain about it, and I considered using legal size paper, but in the end just washing it in was the easiest method of doing so. So in the back of the book I then have the yearly calendar, and so I have January this way, and then July that way. And I kind of would have wanted January this way and then July that way, but I like this on the outside versus just having her, just her information here. So washing that made more sense to me than washing this. And then I had to cut it down a little bit on the outside because the folding was weird. So this worked out the best for it to look the neatest, and neat is important to me. Why, I don't know, but if it, I can't, I needed it to look a certain way, and so it does this way. So for me, the yearly calendar is not something I use to plan, it's something I use to chronicle. I use it more so like an index than a way to plan for the year. So when a month has passed, I take those important events and I throw it onto here. I use my version of a shorthand mixed with some color coding to understand what's going on. So doctor's appointments, sicknesses, accidents, things that happen with the car, oil changing, registration, just I note it all. Things that renewing of services or items, report cards, holiday things, field trips, highlights of something important that happened to me, maybe some sort of milestone. Everything goes on here. So then when I need to relocate that item for later contemplation or for some other matter, I then would come to this, find that item, and if I need more details than this list contains, I then can go look on the month or the week for all of the following information versus indexing or having it all on the month and then having to search all the months individually. This kind of gives me an aerial view of my year. And if you want to see how that looks, check out my binder video. And I'll put a link in the description box for those who are interested in a actual view of what that looks like. And I'll do another update of this when, 2015 is on its way and I've kind of used it and make sure that it's actually working for me. I'm pretty sure it will though. Alright, so number 2 booklet. is has the 6 pocket folder wrapped around it by Pocket Full of Vintage. I use part 2 because she depicts how to seal off the edges, which I think makes the booklet a little more sturdy. These are some coupons, a note from the Nook Leathers. There's nothing in here. This to-do pad came from the Dollar Tree, I think. And then an adult coloring sheet. I'll show you how I use that later on. Just some graph paper from Moleskin that was almost finished. I cut it down and shoved it in here. And I have my meal planning flags there. So this book is also DIY Fish. She offers a free graph sheet on her blog. I will post a link down below. And I'm going to use this for project planning. And I notated that there. I really like the black lettering on the black paper. I really like black this year. So this will be for project planning, work, home life. If I kind of need to visually think out something, so I could, you know, do some maybe basic sketching or some notating of what's what, or just literally writing out everything that I want. This is what this notebook will be for. And then the last insert is has the pocket, the Midori zipper pocket with the side loading pocket wrapped around it. And I'll show you what's in here. It's gotten a little bulkier in the last week. I may debulk it at some point. So various paper clips. Good old magnet has helped me to put them all together. So these are oily clips in various shapes and sizes. Small transparent sticky notes, post-it sticky notes, another color, the pad from Daytimer, more transparent sticky notes. This stencil came from the Hobonichi website. I love these stencils. They're easier to use than stamps as far as I'm concerned, with a lot less worry about bleed through. This one came from a website in Etsy, an Etsy store actually, but as you can see, somehow I managed to break it, and that's because I use it all the time. It gets thrown all over my desk. It is on the floor sometimes. I repurchased it, so when this one officially dies, I'll pull out the other one. I might buy another one to be on the safe side, to be quite honest. Another stencil, also available on the Hobonichi store, but I got this one from that same Etsy shop a while ago at that. You see, this one's fine. I didn't break this one. It's just that other one. And then this is a larger version, and I think this one's cracked somewhere too. I like some of the, I use it a lot for the numbers. It also has letters, but I use it a lot for the numbers. I'm gonna just drop. These are just tabs that someone racked me. These are kind of like the Martha Stewart dewdrops. Now this from the Hobonichi website. And then the two to-dos from the Target spot that everybody likes. I have like 3 more pads of those somewhere. And then over here, I have various marker dots. These came from the Hobonichi website, and they are see-through. And then these are from the actual market dot. I got it from marketdot.com. And they're all of the colors. Purple, yellow, pink, orange, red, black, and green. And then there are some arrows. And then these are diary stickers. These came from Mochi Things, and there are probably like 7 colors in here. Trying to get it open. So just various colors, and I use these on my calendar to highlight dates. They're also see-through. And then these are diary stickers, which I need to buy more of because I've used all the important ones at this point. And this is a DIY fish notebook. It contains November and December. I don't use daily. I only use the weekly pages. And it contains November and December in terms of month. I was using the classic version, and I like classic, except that I could not separate the month calendar from the week calendar. And I explained to you why that was important to me already. I washi taped the flap onto this so that I could use it as a place saver versus having all of these tabs at the top. So I made this booklet from a tutorial in which it gives me a way to separate out the months, and each month has a to-do sheet wrapped around it from the classic. And I like it like that because it gives me like a cover page, a landing page, and then it gives me a to-do sheet that I use for work to-dos. And so I also added the calendars from September and October because they were in the last booklet and I wanted the information, but I didn't want the rest of the weeks. So this is November. I've not filled this in. I usually do it at the end of the month, and November just ended, so I haven't gotten around to it. And then I didn't cover this up, so there we go. So I put my month information here. Bills are up here. I do personal to-dos. This month I was using this for the YouTube planning and Instagram challenges. And then so here's what my week looks like. I list appointments on this side and then to-dos on this side. If I don't have any appointments, then I just start the to-dos over at the margin as well. As you see here, I list some things that I want to have handled this week, but there's no specific date. I use stencils to highlight events that happen. My son lost his second tooth fairy time. You see, just I notate things in various colors. I use this as a habit tracker. My son's habits, my habits, work habits, cleaning habits, and then car habits go at the bottom. My work task I list out here, kind of like bullet lists, and I check them off as I get them done. I do it all in black ink because the color code for work is black. So as you see, blog and social media, these are Instagram prompts. More of my week. I've kind of got back into putting some color on the pages, so I'm enjoying that. I wanted to give that, I knew I had a short week in terms of tasks, and so I wanted to try out this layout, but I didn't want to write it out, so using a sheet, I just washi-taped it in to get the idea. And it seems like a lot's going on here, but the spaces are small and they're simple little reminders of things to do. So I just need to email those people and so on and so forth. So that's what that month continued on. Now the way that I make these booklets, I explained, gives me it gives me additional checklists. So for this month, I use the checklist to kind of plan out Thanksgiving a little bit, and I'll do the same thing for Christmas. And then for the end of December, I'm able to do the same thing, and then I use this back one for Christmas gifts and cards, as you see there. So here's December, same concept. I am changing how I use the weekly planner. I'm going to actually use it for meals because I've gotten into the habit of grocery shopping based on the circulars of the stores in my area. I'm trying to find a way to maximize my grocery budget. So that's my goal for December, maximizing my grocery budget and using the circulars to shop to be more economical about where my money's going. And so I haven't changed how I'm doing that. I took the last week of November off from work, so I wasn't using this page, so I washi taped in a coloring sheet. And then I got like deathly ill, and so I never used it, but I kind of like that, and I might do more of that. So I'll be doing that for the rest of December. Coming in January, this will be missing the month, so it'll just be the rest of this. It'll be missing the month. And that's it. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, put them down below, and I'll get to it ASAP. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I am trying to get into the habit of doing maybe a video a week, maybe every 2 weeks. I'm trying. Okay, I'm going to let you go now. Thanks for watching. Bye.